Hello everyone, my name is Gift and you're welcome to Gift Anti Culture. So in today's tutorial, I want to show you how to cut and sew princess darts using a pattern drafting method. Okay, so if this is something you really want to learn, please kindly stay tuned. And if this is your first time of coming across my channel, do well to subscribe so you can always get notifications whenever I post a new video. So without wasting much of our time, let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is to get a pattern paper, be it white or brown pattern paper, and mark 1 inch. The 1 inch is going to use. So when you are done measuring the 1 inch, which is going to serve as a top line, go ahead and measure 1.5, which is going to serve as your shoulder line. So this pattern covers for both front and the back. And if you're on a bigger size, all right, just add to this pattern, cut a pattern paper and add to it using your masking tape. So after measuring the pattern paper, go ahead, so place your tape roll on your top line and measure your bust point just like what you are seeing. Measure it down, all right. Okay, so after doing that, go ahead and measure your full front length. It is either you call it full front length or half length, all right. So mine is 17. I'll go ahead and mark it just like what you're seeing and connect the lines. So after I finish doing that, so from your waist downward, go ahead and measure 8 inches. This is for those that would like to sew a blouse, okay. But if you want to sew a full blouse length, okay, just extend the length just like what you're seeing on the screen to your hip line, which is 8 inches, all right. So I went ahead to label the bust point, the waistline, and the hip line, just like what you are seeing on the screen. So after I was done doing that, I went ahead to measure my shoulder front, okay, which is 6.5. Sorry, I didn't know that place was not showing. So I went ahead to measure my neckline. Actually used 2.5, okay, and then brought it down by 2.5 as well, and then connect it. So from there, I was able to connect my shoulder slantly, just like what you are going to see later on. Sorry, I didn't know it was not really showing, but just to get the basic neckline, all right. Okay, so I went ahead to connect it just like you're seeing on the screen, and I connected my shoulder. So from there, please, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly do so, all right. By so doing, also encouraging me, all right. So from there, I went ahead to measure um 2 inches upward from my bust point, and that 2 inches is actually my across chest measurement, okay. So from there I went ahead to measure my across chest measurement. If you are yet to measure, take this measurement. I have a 5 minutes video that I've uploaded, is on my channel. Just search for it and you'll see it. So I went ahead to measure my bust point, my bust measurement, and then the same bust measurement I measured it on my across chest. So from there I went ahead to measure my waist measurement and my hip measurement, just like what you're seeing. So divide your hip into 4, your waist into 4, and your bust into 4. Whatever you have, you place it there. Okay, so you can see the way I connected the measurement directly. I didn't cuff it, so I went ahead to measure my bust span, which is 7 divided by 2, and I connected it. So the distance from where my measurement is to that straight line I connected, whatever you have, you divide it by 3, all right. So whatever you have, just like what you're seeing, go ahead and divide it by 3. So I share it on where I measured my bust span 1, and I shared it on the other side. I actually got 1.6, okay. So I divided it into 3, just like, and I went ahead to connect my dart. So this is how to connect your dart, all right. There is no specific dart measurement, all right. So I went ahead to cross check my measurement to know if the dart I used was correct, and this is what you should do. All right, when you are done dividing your dart, sharing your dart, just like, go ahead and cross check your measurement. All right, so after I was done doing that, I went up to the across chest measurement to contour my armhole. Now the distance from the across chest measurement to where I measured my I bust, so whatever you have for the front, you divide it by 4 and go up to your shoulder, divide the midpoint, all right, and go in by 0.3 and connect the armhole. Sorry guys, I didn't know this place was not showing. Okay, so from there I went ahead to put my um side bust measurement, which is 2 inches. How I got the side bust measurement is, my across my full front length or half length is actually 17, and there is a back measurement which is called the nap to waist. So the difference between nap to waist and my full front measurement, whatever you have, that's what you use. So my nap to waist measurement, just like what you're seeing on the screen, is what I'm taking. So it's actually 15, and my full front measurement is 17. So the distance between that measurement is what I actually use. The difference rather is what I actually use for my side bust measurement. So I've gone ahead to erect delete that 2 inches. All right, so I went up to my bust point, and just like what I did, I measured my across back measurement. I went up by 2, so I went ahead to measure my bust measurement. The bust measurement, I also place it on the across back measurement. So the distance for the back, the distance between my bust and the across chest, whatever you have, you divide it by 2 and connect the lines just like what you're seeing using your French cuff. If you don't have French cuff, then you can use your hand. So after I was done doing that, I went ahead to measure my waist measurement, which is 28 divided by 4. I got 7. I also went down to, the 2 inches there is no more there. Okay, so I went ahead to measure my hip measurement, which is 37, and I connected the lines. Now the distance between the straight line and my waist measurement, whatever you have, just like what we did, okay, I'll you divide it by 3. But for the back, I don't usually share it because I want it to be firm for me, okay, on me rather. So to my I went ahead to place my bust band measurement for the back, and then that distance I got 1.6 rather. So I'm going to put 0.6 by the side and went to the back to measure 1 inch. Okay, so instead of sharing it just like the way I did for the front, I had to I put one at the back where the zip will be, and the side which is 0.6, and then I went ahead to connect the lines. I hope you are following. No, what I just cancelled is actually the 2 inches I used for the side bust. Okay, so I went ahead to connect my shoulder measurement and then added half inch, okay, to my measurement, because that half inch is what I'm going to use for my sewing. I'm also sewing. So you can see now I've gone ahead to, the back does not really have work like that, so I've gone ahead to cut it. So I went ahead to add half 1.5 to that measurement. So if you are going to add to the measurement just like what you are seeing on the screen, you are going to include the side that measurement to it, because you are getting rid of it, and I went ahead to cut it. So you can see the back is actually ready. I went ahead to remove the 1 inch, and then you can close it like this just like what you're seeing, or you cut it out. So after that I went ahead to the front, okay, and then measure my shoulder, divide my shoulder from where I marked the neckline. Whatever measurement you are going to have, divide it by 2 and mark it, then connect it from that shoulder point to meet your bust point, just like what you're seeing on the screen. So that same measurement I actually got 4.2, so I measured 2.2 there, and then 2.1 rather, and then the 2.1 I extend it to the other side since we are sewing a princess dart. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and connect it just like what you're seeing on the screen. After I was done, I went ahead to cross check my measurement, and I measured my under bust measurement, which is 13 inches. Now to get your under bust tightening, divide um measure your bust and your under bust, round under bust measurement. The difference between there, whatever you have, okay, you divide it by 6. So whatever you have there, I hope you are getting it. Whatever, after dividing by 6, it could, yours can be 1 inch, yours can be 0.8, depending on how busty you are. Then go ahead and place it on both sides just like what I did, and connect the lines just like what you're seeing. So So after I was done doing that, I went ahead to slit slash my side bust just like you're seeing, and then put a paper underneath so I can be able to close it. That you can either close it like this or you close it from the shoulder, but most of the time I like closing it from the side. So I went ahead to use my masking tape to close it just like what you are seeing on the screen, and I also close the shoulder just like what you are seeing. After I've closed the side boards, the shoulder is also closed. Okay, I went ahead to gum it just like what you are seeing, and now here it is. So after I was done doing that, I went ahead to connect my shoulder just like what you are seeing on the screen, and then I added half inch for the um shoulder joining and connected it just like what you're seeing on the screen. So I went ahead to add half inch to my armhole measurement, which is going to use as my sewing. So after I was done, I went ahead to, since you are sewing princess dart, all right, so I went ahead to take the measurement. This is where I was showing, in case you want to sew off shoulder, you can, depending with this the way it is, you can cut it out, you can cut your neck, be it v-neck or any other thing. So I went ahead to connect my princess that just like what you are seeing. I went ahead to cut the center front out just like what you are seeing on the screen, and I also cut the basic neck. No, this is not the neck I'm using, all right. So now I went ahead to close the side that it can close it like this. This is how I usually close my side dart using my masking tape. So I went ahead to cut it out. So you can see the bust point is kind of pointy, so I went in by 1 inch to connect it so that it can, so that it will not be pointy. Yours can be half inch depending on how pointy it is, and then I went ahead to cut it. After I was done, I went ahead to check my measurement, because the dart that I closed uh, has already reduced my bust measurement just like what you are seeing. So I went ahead to contour connect it. I went into my waist to retake the measurement, and I noticed it was complete. All right, so after I was done, I went ahead to add my 1.5 inch just like what you're seeing, and I went ahead to connect cut it out. So I went to the bag, and in case you want to sew, you want your the bag to have joining, you can connect it like this, all right, just like what you are seeing. Okay, there are some dresses that the connection, the sewing you get to the neck just like what you're, the shoulder rather, or if you want it to be a princess cut, just like what you're seeing, the shoulder, the distance from your shoulder to your across bar, whatever you have, you divide it by two and then connect it just like what you are seeing. So with this, you have a princess cut method, all right. So you can either, since we are using it for the half length, you can close it just like what you are seeing on the screen, and then cut whatever you want to cut. And if you want to sew a full blouse, you can also open it, flip it out, and then do whatever you want to do with your pattern paper. So I went ahead to cut the neckline that I want. You can cut at your neckline depending on what you want. So after I was done doing that, I placed the front to cut the back. I wanted it to have I wanted the opening to be big, and I went ahead to cut it. So after I was done doing that, I went ahead to cut the fabric only, all right, adding half inch to where I want to sew, both to the side and to the lower part, and I went ahead to cut my paper stay. So this is how I cut my wording, all right, just like what you're seeing on the screen. I went ahead to cut my wording, I placed my fabric, and then from the under bust, just like what you're seeing, I connect it to this armhole point. Though sometimes I reduce it, but for this tutorial, this is what I'm showing you, all right. So just like what you're seeing, you can see that shape there. I went ahead to cut it out just like what you are seeing. So I place the center front just like what you are seeing on the screen. So from the under bust, I went ahead to cut it and then shape it. All right, please don't forget to like this video, don't forget to comment. All right, if there is any tutorial you want me to try, you want us to try, just let me know in the comment section. So I went ahead to, I don't usually leave it like that, I went ahead to cut it as if I'm cutting a v-neck. All right, so after I was done doing that, I went ahead to gum it. Okay, so with what I did, the wording is actually for the fabric, and I'm still going to cut paper stay for the lining. Like, I'm going to cut paper stay for the lining, just like the way I cut the wording. So I've gone ahead to place it. All right, cut it just like what you are seeing, and I've gone ahead to trim it. All right, so I went ahead to sew it half inch that I actually put and notch it just like what you're seeing on the screen. Please don't forget to notch it. And this is the lining. I went ahead to sew the lining as well, and I top stitch the lining. You can only top stitch the lining, do not top stitch the fabric, the cloth itself. So I went ahead to sew the bag as well, and also the neckline, and top stitch it. So after I was done, I went ahead to join the shoulder. All right, and this is the outcome of it. So after I was done, it was time for me to join the side. So you can decide on how you want to join the side. Okay, you can decide to join lining to lining or fabric to itself, or you braid it. But for me, I actually decided to join the to brace everything together, though I, because I have weaving machine, and then I weave it. Okay, so this is basically what I did, and I hope this makes sense. Thank you for staying.